All right, welcome back to the Buck Junkie Podcast, and we are back down here at camp hanging out. Turkey season's officially over, boys.
That's it.
That's all we're gonna say about it.
Done.
Are y'all? I'm not mad at them. I got blessed. I did get me 2 turkeys. Thanks to Mikey. Mikey's the expert calling.
Depends on who you talk to, man.
Depends on who you talk. Yeah, some of the folks didn't like.
Some of the folks didn't like me saying that Mississippi had the hardest to hunt turkeys.
Yeah, what's up?
I think I should have said that was they were smartest turkeys.
I've seen stuff from
Mississippi turkeys are the smartest.
Whenever there's a poll, Mississippi's always in there. It's hard to kill one.
I think I left out Arkansas too. They were kind of right there on that edge of those eastern birds.
What makes a turkey hard to kill in a state? Is it the terrain of the state?
I think some of it's
pressure of the range.
Yeah, because I mean, I look at those comments on Facebook and stuff, and they were, everybody's kind of going back and forth about where it was the hardest place to hunt turkeys at. But I think a lot of it's the terrain. I mean, I would hate to hunt turkeys in the mountains. I mean, I wouldn't want to climb up down them things all day long.
You'd have to be part billy goat.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that terrain is hard, but as far as the bird itself,
that Mississippi has a ton of pressure.
Between
all the government land and, stuff like that, everybody's just overwhelmed with it.
I still go back to say a turkey ain't that smart. It's just scared to death. He's scared of everything.
They are scared.
He's pretty slick.
I know we had some outsmart us this year. I did.
That means we're real dumb.
Yeah, real dumb. You just got to coerce them. I mean, sometimes they just ain't coming.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? There's always next year. That's all I got to say.
It is.
I got me about, I don't know how many mouth calls I got now. I'm probably up to about 15.
Oh, you can be an expert by next year.
Trying to find out which one will work. And some of them I can't make a noise with. And then some of them don't take much effort at all. So I don't know what the trick is to it. But I have got to where they don't choke me to death. I can keep it in my mouth. I started just whenever I'm in the truck, throw it in my mouth.
Yeah. Just
trying to make a noise on it, trying to do something. Now, does it sound like a turkey? Probably not.
That's why Rochelle been coming in her own vehicle down here.
Yes. Yeah. She is so happy turkey season's over. She asked me the other day, what season do you think is going to be next?
Nuh-uh. She didn't say it like that, did she?
Oh, yeah. No, she did.
She's
tired. Out. She's like, she gets fed up with deer hunting because it lasts so long. I said, turkey season's only 6 weeks. It ain't like it's that long.
A noisy 6 weeks.
It is a noisy 6 weeks. I'll tell you something that does like my callings, tree frogs. I can make them jokers talk. It'll make you think it's a hen. I can get them going.
We heard 4 or 5 this morning. I had to stand there for a minute to make sure it wasn't a hen kind of in the distance, but it was a tree frog down in there, man. It got loud as crap.
It sounds like a turkey. I'd never realized that frog sounds that much like a yelping turkey. But we went and judged last week a wild game cook-off.
Some of them turkeys were yelping.
I was yelping when I got through judging them.
So I was 100% honest. When we pulled up that building, I walked in, I'm like, it's going to be 10 or 15 tables there. Not 250, 300 chairs, tables. It's probably actually more than that, really and truly, but
it's a bunch.
It's a crowd.
So what happened with this deal was it's a potluck. It's a competition and a potluck. So you basically bring your best dish, whatever category you want. What categories were there? There was
horns,
antlered,
horns,
feathers, land critter, water critter,
dessert,
feather and fowl.
Chili stews.
And deer
like
camp.
6 categories, 7 categories.
And
total.
then hunt camp specialties.
Yeah.
So we got there.
Some of them are special.
Yeah, some of them are special.
So when we've judged contests before, typically you go and there's a bunch of judges. They're broke up into tables, and you might judge 6 entries of categories if you're lucky at a contest when you're judging. Well, we got there, and our buddy Joe, he said, "Y'all are the judges."
I knew that.
All these entries, we were all the judges. Did y'all do that?
I knew we were the judges, but I didn't know we was all the judges.
Yeah. That's the way I was.
Because they was what, the 6x6, like little to-go boxes.
Yeah, it was small,
like a hamburger box. So I know on antlered side, it was 40 plus on
42, I think.
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah, there was at least 40 desserts when we walked in. I don't know how many more came because they were still coming in. He's told us to go ahead and start.
I think there was 46.
And there was a bunch
desserts.
on that antler side.
42 antlers. I think there was 20-something land critters.
It was probably 30, 40 desserts, too.
About a dozen fowl, like feathered critters, and then hunt camp was about 8 to 10 inches.
That was probably the smallest one. That or fish.
And the water critters was about 8 too, I think. But we had to judge them all.
I'm gonna be honest with
And
you.
it
I'm
was
not
tough.
sure what we eat.
There was
I
some
think the clampets was in that. You know, they had that old bucket with them possums hanging off the side.
I
of the
swear there was
truck.
one entry. I just swore it was a human finger. It looked like a human finger. They deep fried or something. It was rough. I had some stuff that was all right. I had nothing blew me away. Like it's like, you want to come cook against our camp? Oh, we got you.
Yeah, it was
Gotcha.
It was a learning experience.
It was tough.
It was tough, and I think we went about it the right way. We kind of went through there and judged each one of them, and we all picked our top 4, and then we gradually worked it down till we had our top pick.
You had to do that. There was no way you could you weren't comparing everything.
No,
At least
you
I
couldn't.
wouldn't. I was just judging each thing on its own entry if it was good.
Yeah,
That's what I did. I took a bite, and if I thought, hey, that's pretty daggum good, I just slid it down at the bottom of the table and went through them, just kept pulling them down to the bottom. And I may have 6 or 8, and then I'll go back and may try them one more time just to see what were the best 4 out of them. But
Narrow them down.
yeah, but good Lord, man, that was a lot. I thought you and Joey were friends, but evidently not.
no, we pissed him off at some point.
Joey is my friend. He needed some good, honest judging, and he needed it done fast.
He got it.
There's about 8 more judges with the panel next year.
Yeah, I think we at least needed 10.
It wasn't. I mean, it went way smoother than I thought it would. And once we kind of got them narrowed down, and I would say I had probably 1 or 2 out of each category it was a good bite. You know,
I can tell you on antler dough ground, I guess it was like deer hamburger helper. It wasn't bad.
I tried that one. It's pretty
It was
good.
probably one
the
of the
meatloaf was good.
That's pretty good soups. I mean, those.
There was a
one
chili-
swamp stew, and there was a good chili in there, and there was a couple of bisques that were really good.
Which one was you telling me to go back and get a bite of? It was like
The swamp stew
swamp stew. It was pretty good.
with turnip greens. It was dang good.
But it had like white beans in it. It wasn't like chili beans or anything. It was
I think it was white beans, black-eyed peas, turnip greens. There were
Ground
some
meat,
other
some
vegetables in
sausage.
there.
I just took y'all's word for that because that's out of my range.
It was good. It was pretty good. There was a bunch of like queso type crawfish cheese dips or something like that. There was crawfish bread on the water critter one.
I know we always say, a deer popper or a popper in general make anything good. I didn't think you could mess it up, but we got proved wrong on that one.
That one entry was straight, I think, match light.
That marinate it with that lighter fluid or something.
Golly.
They had to have the smoke going hard on it or something.
I think they run it through a diesel tank or something.
Yeah. That was the hardest
I mean,
one to
it
get out
was-
of my mouth.
It was
and
out.
I
Well-
couldn't get that taste out.
And that's one thing. It's not really fair to everybody judging when you got to judge so much. When you get a bad one and it gets that taste in your mouth, it ruins it for every other category because there's no getting it.
Oh,
I drank 3 bottles of water trying to
Well, they
wash my
say
mouth out.
you go out in the yard, try to find a dog so you lick his butt. It was that
It
bad.
was that bad.
It was that bad.
Now, when we got to desserts, they were all
they are
desserts
pretty
good.
solid.
Yeah. Dessert category was solid.
What was your favorite out of the dessert?
Blueberry pineapple.
That's what caught me because it was unique.
One of my favorite was a coconut one, but
The
nobody
coconut was good, but it wasn't.
else agreed with me on
Y'all remember which one was first place?
it. Was the cheesecake, like Chris
Apple dump-
Oh, that was similar to the
Yeah,
recipe
they're
you've
good.
done,
They are,
right?
yeah, they are.
Those
good.
were good. The apple dumplings were good.
Apple dumpling was
Apple
good.
dumpling was second, I think.
The
Then
blueberry
the
pineapple thing
I
was
think it was
good.
second or third.
There was some kind of like brownie pie.
It was
It
like
was
a
pretty
Mississippi
good.
mud pie, kind of
Yeah.
with a brownie crust.
It was pretty good.
I knew I could do desserts.
There was some
That's
banana
where you sit
puddings in
down.
there.
But you think that like you got through 15, like I said, okay, I'm gonna try to just be honest and do half, and then let y'all do half, and then we'll pull the best out of those. And I got to just tasting 15, not like
It adds
eating
up.
it. It's a lot of bites.
You got to think, if you take 1 spoon and got just a half a spoonful, that's an ounce.
Yeah.
No, that'll get your blood sugar dialed in.
So, I mean, if you think about it, if you're judging 15 or 20, you're up to 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. It's a lot of stuff to
Before
eat.
you know it,
Yeah,
you've
it don't
tried
take
a lot.
long.
Well, especially a lot of that stuff was heavy because it was like hamburger helpers and stews and
did.
chilies and dips and rich food.
I know I tried it. I think Jamie aborted on me the canned pickled deer meat.
I actually did take a little bite of it.
I've had it before. Like, me and Jamie had it out at Hard Point.
No, this was pickled.
It wouldn't just process.
No,
like
it was pickled.
No, that a Hard Point.
Yeah,
I couldn't. It wasn't that bad. It's pretty decent. Now that I had this weekend was
it better or worse than pickled pig feet?
Worse.
It's worse than pickled feet.
I didn't try the pig feet.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It was like pickled liver is what it tasted like.
The texture was way off.
It was very irony. Like it's like you was eating some pig feet with some pennies. Like it was.
Literally.
Yeah, it was deep. And it may have been liver. I don't know. I just assumed it was backstrap.
I had a summer sausage. It wouldn't.
Yeah,
I think it rode around the cooler.
Yeah,
for a while. It was like waterlogged.
That's the one you got.
Yeah, I got it. I'm like, man, what the heck is this?
Yeah. Did you try it? I took it.
I did.
A nibble.
I couldn't get it down. It had to come back up.
Now they're at the very end. There were some that come in, and I think they were turkey dishes, and they were the same team, and I think they won.
Yeah,
they won back to back.
Yeah,
it was like a buffalo and a. Was the other one?
It's like an Asian
zing or something like that. They both of them were good. I did like them.
They might have watched. Well, no, your darn Bang Bang Turkey ain't been out yet.
It just came out this week.
That would have been a dang.
That would have won it.
That'd have been a winner.
Oh yeah, hands down. That would have. There was one that you got a bite of. I tried it the first time, and I thought it was all right.
I think you got your boxes mixed up because there's no way you thought that was all right.
May have, because it was like it almost tastes like a what is it called? Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, the pickle.
But then you got it, and you said it about choked you.
Yeah, I've never had anything that bitter.
Yeah, there was one. It was.
Yeah,
I think you got the boxes mixed up. I think you meant to.
Maybe I did.
Because I got one turkey bite that was delicious.
Yeah.
And then you said this was your favorite one. I was like, well, I'm going to try that one. I didn't even check up. I just threw it in my mouth, and that was the worst mistake. It was
dry.
It was dry, and like, you know how like when you, like for me, like if I start thinking about I'm fixing to eat a pickle, your jaw locks up and it locked my jaw up. I mean, it was just the most bitter. I don't know what. I don't think it was turkey. I don't know what it was.
Now I did have. I want to say it was either a rabbit, could have been a squirrel. I guess you couldn't really tell, but it was like on a biscuit with gravy, and then it would have, if it would have been tender.
Now, if that would have been more, if it had been warm, it should have got cooled off. That would have been pretty good.
The meat was a little chewy too, though. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as soft texture. Like it needed to be pressure cooked or something.
That was a bad thing about that dish. You know, they put that gravy on there, and then it got cold. You know, gravy gets thick when it gets cold.
Can't hardly do it. And turn it like that.
You got to think we're probably pretty critical. I mean, we go in there with the mindset of we're judging, and we're analyzing every little bite. We're probably picking up on flavors that most people wouldn't have tasted. Well, some of it you didn't have no choice but to taste.
You picked up on a lot of them quick. Kicked in.
But man, that was what I liked about the whole event was you look how many people that come out on a Tuesday night to support something like that based around, wild game, hunting, cooking, fishing. Like, I mean, that was a heck of a support for that event.
It was probably 10 vendors set up plus a couple
at least.
Yeah, and then it was 5 or 6 raffle things.
Yeah.
Am I going with that? Probably 10 or 12 raffle things.
Heck yeah, Mark bought how much money did you spend in raffle tickets? Like
$20. And
you wanted that gun.
Yeah, want a gun. Want a gun I've always wanted, but never would buy.
You went back, you had to go back next day and do all the transfer stuff.
Yeah, we had the Buck Junkies tent set up, and we were, giving away some apparel and just, talking to people about hunting and stuff like that. And we went up and judged, and we got back, and we still had a couple of hours to kill. And I told Jamie, I was like, heck, excuse me.
Oh, yeah. So let's tell it right.
Tell it right. Jamie said, let's go look at this raffle, because when we walked in, a guy was walking in with a shotgun that was flat beautiful. It was a Stoger.
Like a walnut and bronze or something?
Yeah, it was Cerakoted bronze, but with a walnut stock.
Man, it looked really
I've never seen Cerakote and wood together, and it was sharp. It was a good looking gun. So we were going to go put a raffle ticket in, and we got over there, and I looked at the shotgun raffle bucket, and it was full of raffle tickets. Well, the old Henry Lever Action 22 didn't have but about a dozen in it. I told Jamie, I said, heck, I'm going to do this one. Well, Jamie was like, well, I am too. I said, no, you go do another one. Like, don't mess my odds up.
Knock you out.
So I put $20 on that one, got 5 raffle tickets, and dropped it. And Jamie went and put.
I done the shotgun and a 6.5. They was
Ruger
6.5 or something.
Yeah, that was a good looking gun too.
Yeah,
it was a PRC 6.5 PRC.
Yeah, it's a good looking gun.
And anyways, it got late. We had about a 2-hour drive back home, so we kind of slipped out of there before because we didn't know how long it was going to take them to do the raffles, and I mean it was a lot to go talk about. So as soon as we stepped in the truck, the phone rang. Said I done won the lever action 22, and then I go in. Of course, they wouldn't give it to me then because I guess it was like probably 7 o'clock. I guess the whatever number they call to verify you're not a criminal, I guess they're not open. So ended up having to go back over there next morning, which I'll drive an hour and a half to go pick up a free gun.
Henry gun?
Yeah.
All day long.
But it was a Henry lever action, which I've always wanted a lever action 22 because mine and Jamie's daddy's got a Browning lever action that's, I don't know how old that gun is, but
it's probably 40-something years old, 50 years old. Probably.
Still looks like the day he bought it, and it's been a mini round shot through it. And that Henry's almost identical. I think the Henry's a good bit heavier, though. That
Did you
gun,
shoot it yet?
Yeah. I shot it.
How'd it shoot?
Good. That's what I was telling Jamie. I hadn't shot a lever action 22 in so long, or, anything that's not automatic. And man, the gun had a little recoil. It feels different,
I'm not saying it's kicking you back like no.
Does it shoot short?
Yeah, it will shoot everything short, rat shot, long rifle. It don't matter. They shoot all of them.
It's a smooth shooting little gun. I'm gonna fix it up, get a scope put on it, and get it decked out to where it might be able to go shoot some squirrels next year. That won't be a beater gun.
I was gonna say you don't want to tote that one around in the woods and
No,
stuff.
that'll be a pretty gun. I'll let my Ruger be the beater. But I'll go back next year. I don't know if I'm going to volunteer to judge, but I'll go back next year.
I want to go turn in some entries, huh?
Well, we got to talk about that too. Like, it's like we turn in an entry to contest. We're turning in 6 portions. Well, this, you had to have enough for entry to turn into the contest. Plus you're feeding.
Yeah. It's
like potluck.
Yeah. So like you can't do like, how we done the backstrap at the wild game. Like you couldn't do that in a large enough quantity to feed everybody. Yeah.
And I don't think they were the ones that actually put it in the box. I think some of the volunteers were scooping it out, putting it in the box. And
I think that's what happened. Like you brought your whatever dish you were bringing in to turn in.
Yeah,
they had those little bitty
like
hamburger to go boxes, and that's what they spooned some in, wrote a number on it. That's what they turned in, and the rest went down to the floor of the arena there.
That was probably one of the things that would, I don't know. I mean, maybe we should have been up there a little earlier as they were coming in because, like that gravy one, they probably pulled that out. It's probably hot when they stuck it up there, but it cooled off while it sat in that room for so long.
There was only a few dishes that I had that were like still warm at all. Most of it.
Those turkey bites were.
But you don't think like, and that's another thing, like if you don't do competitions all the time, you don't think about pretty much a judge is going to try something cold. So you got to cook a dish that's good at room temp, not cold, but at room temp.
You got to,
it's been set. So.
Like when we do it, like last weekend, we turned in ribs. I never tried the ribs till 15 minutes later, to where you kind of get an idea of what that judge is actually tasting. Because if you taste it right off the smoker, that's not what the judge is eating. So you have to like build that recipe to where that recipe is good 20, 30 minutes later. And I mean, most people don't think about that, especially when you're cooking casseroles and stuff like that. You just cook it and it stays hot, great. And if it don't, it don't.
What'd you do with your metal art?
So I bought, I can't remember the name of that company.
Dude right beside us.
Yeah, a guy set up beside us had like a plasma table, and he done anything from fire pits to signage to just
outdoor grills.
Yeah, outdoor grills. Anything you lay on a laser table and cut, basically. And he had some of the old NWTF logo turkeys cut out, and then I bought one Walking Tom looking laser cut out. Gave one to Jody. I kept one, and one's coming down here. So he didn't have but 2 of the NWTFs, and I bought them both. And
well, didn't you say something unique about they stopped that logo?
So they changed the logo, and I don't think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they're like the old NWTF logo, like they're not going to create anything else with it. So I don't know if you can still purchase the rights to that logo and like make stuff. I don't know that part of it, but like I know they changed the logo, and I can't remember.
The old one's a 3 turkey.
The 3 turkeys. The new one is, I can't remember. Because I don't know how often, how often they change that? Or is that, because that old one's been around forever.
Shoot, about half that crap in my office has got that logo on it.
Yeah.
All that junk I bid on and won at the turkey banquets.
I like the old logo. Like, I guess that's just because what we're more familiar with.
Recognize it. Well, there was some people there from the Delta
Waterfowl. That's who was doing the raffle for the shotgun.
I didn't understand their conservation efforts as much as after he told us. He said they're more into like breeding grounds and predator control. That's the big
actually
thing
helping the waterfowl.
Yeah, actually helping. Yeah, it's a pretty cool outfit.
Yeah, they've been around quite a while.
What's the one out here in Senatobia, the other side of the interstate? It's some kind of waterfowl refuge thing. I don't know if it's like a breeding hole or what. They got the right by the interstate at Senatobia.
I don't know whose that is.
Whose it is? They're probably in some kind of.
It's a private. I mean, it's not like a public land. It's some organization, but I don't remember who it is.
Yeah, I think Delta Waterfowl has been around a while. I think they got overshadowed by Ducks Unlimited and stuff like that. Because I mean, Ducks Unlimited is it's a brand. More. I ain't gonna say more than they are conservationists. They are conservationists, but now it's more of a fad than anything, and I think they just kind of got overshadowed by them a lot.
Delta Waterfowl, that's what we were talking about. They do a lot more with like, what do you call the nesting? He had a special name for like the nesting part.
It was, I forget how he put it, but it was mainly they were doing a lot of work up in like up north in those pothole areas is what he said. They were building like boxes and just breeding habitat pretty much.
I don't know if it's Ducks Unlimited, who it was used to. You could get
duck boxes,
waterfowl duck boxes for your place.
Somebody used to give them away.
Yeah, I
know we need some because there's some wood ducks out here and all these little
hen houses, what he was calling.
All these little water holes we got on the property. Man, every time I ride by them, I'm running wood ducks out of them now. They're trying to find a place to nest.
I'll have to build some.
Yeah, I got some cypress at the house. Need to build some.
You just have to make them coon proof. That's a big thing.
Or man, coons.
They have bounced back, Mark. I know you did a good job trapping them.
We just have to do it again.
We got some cameras out trying to see where the turkeys are, and all we're getting is pictures of coons and possums. So, it tracks into every mud hole I see is just ate up with coon tracks.
I read that article. I don't think I talked about this last time, but I read that article about trapping and management on predators and stuff is it's a constant battle because you may take 20 or 30 coons off the property and 15, 20 more will come back in the same year. They'll migrate and find that place and old den trees and stuff. They can smell one another. So same thing with coyotes and other predators. Do
you think they have a territory? Like when you take out some coons, they realize that the competition's gone, so they got new territory they can claim.
I mean, there's got to be something like that because that article said that it was actually in that Turkey Call magazine that we get. I was reading that. It said you got to be really careful not to completely wipe out one kind of predator because that predator may have been prey for another predator.
Yeah.
Now he's
going to move on to your turkeys.
He'll move on to something else, and it may be your turkeys or it may be your deer or something like that. So, completely, eradicating them is
I don't think we could completely eradicate them. You got too much neighbors and there's too much area for them that you could probably do a lot of, good to get them off the interiors of your property. And you started seeing that when you're running the traps.
Yeah. We quit catching them on the interior of the property. In the last 3 or 4 days, we were only catching them on the fence lines, on the property line. So that was telling me we were pulling them off the neighbor's property and not necessarily off our property. But since turkey hunting this year and kind of having feet on the ground and walking around and looking in the mornings and see, we got all kind of other places we can trap. I mean, I found more den trees this spring than I knew was out here in these woods. So
that's one good thing about turkey hunting in the spring. When you can walk around, you're really seeing all these areas that you may not have ever went to during deer season.
Well, I think you see more of, you got that real tender vegetation that is growing and coming up. So you're able to see like the trails a lot easier. They're walked down because the vegetation isn't super thick just yet. And you're able to see a lot more sign like deer trails and these den trees. And it's a lot more stuff to see. And just like this morning when I was walking across where we done the burn that 30 acres, it was so many deer bedded down out there. I mean, they were just laid in the wheat. I mean, and they never spooked. Like, I walked right by them. I mean, they got up, kind of walked off, but I mean, what are we, a month from burning? Maybe.
Yeah,
probably.
That grass over there, some of it's knee deep already.
Yeah, it's thick.
Yeah, you can see all the briars and, some thistle and, a bunch of different other things, goldenrod and stuff starting to sprout up out there that's coming back. It won't take it long. It'll be it'll be waist to armpit deep, another month. It'll be pretty thick.
That's what me and Mark this weekend cook was actually talking to a guy, and that's what he was asking us about burning. And he's like, man, it's people get such a bad idea or instant judgment on when you say burn and fire on your property. And he's like, man, that's some of the best stuff they've done. Well, he lives in Arkansas. And
he's a big quail hunter too. So
he said, man, it's just like creating everything all over and brand new for any wild game you got on your property.
When you look at that, like our dove field up there, I have not fertilized that dove field not one time, but we burned that thing twice. And just from burning it and, throwing down, other wheat and regenerating crops on that and keeping it covered, that ground is done pretty good. It's sustained real wheat field, a real good.
It was just all it was. That's what we called it, Hilltop. That's where Hilltop got its name. That's all it was, and it was pretty barren up there.
Well, I mean, the first year we tried to put a food plot up there, it was garbage.
It didn't do anything, but you mended that soil, started fertilizing, liming, putting a good crop on it, and then rotating them. It's done fantastic.
So, if you burning, I mean, you're taking those nutrients and putting them back down on the ground. So, I mean, it helps your soil a lot.
Definitely an option to look into if you're got a property that's all growed up and need to do something with. That's definitely what I would talk to.
What do you think it gets such a bad rap for? Just because of danger?
You see stuff. You see stuff on news. These wild forest fires that's wiping out houses and subdivisions and stuff like that. And people
the reason that's doing that is because they're not doing prescribed burns.
They wouldn't let them do prescribed burns, so it's catching up.
I mean, you got to get the fuel off the ground, or eventually, it's going to. If something sparks it, you're just having more gasoline for it to light.
Which it could be simple as a lightning during a storm. That could start it. So all kinds of ways it could get started.
Yeah, I mean, you got flick out west and stuff like that where it's so dry. We think it's we over here it's way more humid. In the summer, we do get some rain and humidity. It kind of keeps everything wet and dew on the ground even through the summer. But like you go out west and stuff, out Phoenix and California and places like that, you flip a cigarette out on the ground out there and it's like burning down hundreds of thousands of acres and just from a cigarette getting thrown out the window.
Speaking of out west.
Oh, we're man,
we're not going west. We're
going west to us.
West to us, yeah.
It's
10 hours west.
River. If it's across the river, that's west to me.
Yeah. We're going west and south a little bit.
So what's it close to? It's south of Dallas, Fort Worth area where we're going?
It's south of Fort Worth, near, was it Waxahachie?
Yeah.
Somewhere around.
South side.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact little town, but going to, I can't even remember the name.
I'm just getting in truck ride. I have no idea where we're going. Somewhere Texas.
Y'all said, do you want to go? First, we're going to get to hunt some wild hogs from some blinds. Then we're going to, when it gets dark, we're going to crank up some thermals and go out and try to kill some. And then, but the whole thing's about cooking some wild game, I guess at a deer camp. That's kind of what the premise is, right?
Well, it's what we've been trying to do this whole time is, bridge that gap of cooking and hunting, because most everybody that hunts is going to cook what they hunt. And a lot of the guys we know cooking hunts. So
I've never known of a deer camp where they didn't eat nothing good.
Yeah. So we're going down to, it's called, make sure I tell these right, Prairie Hill Sporting Club. And it's basically about 40 plus 40,000 acres. I don't know the exact acre. Pretty good sized place. Going down there, we're going to do some hog hunting with thermals, and then, of course, do a lot of cooking during the day and kind of, like I say, bridge that gap between hunting and cooking and have a good time while we're doing it. So a lot of good people's going to be there, a couple big influencers. Trent's going with us, so we'll be excited to see him. And then kind of who got us in connection with everything and hooked us up with it is Monarch Hunting Blinds and Monarch Feeders. So we've been kind of in connection with them, talking to them and stuff, and checking out a lot of their stuff. Their blinds are pretty dang sharp.
Yeah, they're high. They're definitely high end. It's not a Walmart trade day.
I mean, it's nice.
They've got a trailer that I saw that you sent me a video of that's just bad to the bone.
I'm trying to figure out. So he said, it's like, man, we can use that to shoot hogs, or, you can deer hunt out of it. He was talking about duck hunting. I was like, man, I don't know what duck hunting out of that would be like. You wouldn't want to do that in Mississippi Delta, because
they must be hunting dry fields or something.
I'm sure. But hey, it's pretty sharp though. It's got looks like the millennial chairs or that style, like netted chair. It's got the solar pack on it, so you got your charging station, the lights on the inside.
You know, I totally thought that was like kind of like a dumb idea. And then you get thinking all these people that need, I mean, I found this out with Hope Outdoors and stuff like that. It's so many people that you don't even think about. They need that necessity for either some kind of oxygen machine or some kind of machine they got for the health side of it to sit in a deer stand. And that's a genius idea.
When you think about it, I mean, somebody has for instance, like if your insulin thing was to be, I don't know if you charge it. I'm assuming you do. Like if it was to act up, like that's something to think about in your deer stand.
I never even thought about that, about having it.
It ain't just for us to charge our phones.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, you're sitting in them comfortable blinds, kick back, got your phone out, you done run your battery down.
Heater's going.
Yeah, they're going to charge your phone up. You can plug a fan up.
It's pretty sharp, though, so I'm excited about it. We're going to go out there and cook some good groceries and enjoy it, and that's what, I got to figure out what the heck I'm going to wear. And, I don't know what to take to Texas in May. And
are we going to need snake boots?
Yes.
I mean, I'm probably
I'm worried about mosquitoes.
That's what I'm
allergic to insect.
Thermocell.
Really? Kind of got the short end of stick on that one.
If you bring the DEET, you bring the Thermocell.
I don't think mosquitoes I wasn't even thinking about. They're probably baked by then. They ain't even out there.
Hopefully y'all got enough bug spray on and sit amongst y'all and keep them off me.
I'm sure Texas got, mosquitoes. I don't know if they got them like we got, just because we got so much water around here. But
they got the snakes.
Yeah. Them cotton picking the snakes out there, and them out there are bad.
So I don't ever think about a snake.
I mean, I do and I don't.
Tell you what, I hate worse than snakes, ticks.
Yeah, I'd rather get bit by a snake than I had one of these ticks. I can't eat no more meat.
As long as they ain't got them darn gnats that we got here.
It is the Lone Star tick, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to Texas.
Man, if I come back there, I can't eat meat no more. I'm mad as hell. Something's got to give. But we're supposed to be cooking some of these hogs we kill, right?
Yeah. Hopefully,
have y'all cooked much wild hog?
I've cooked it once or twice. That's been 20 years ago when my brother-in-law Thomas and them killed some.
It was what we cooked was good, but also
pork chops are fantastic.
Yeah, they were delicious. But we tried to cook the ribs out of them, and that was about like eating jerky on a stick. It really wasn't much.
I've cooked some before. All that when I was done some stuff with Mossy Oak, that wild game butchery that they sell wild game products. And boar is one of them, and it's one of the meats that they get that's not actually farm raised. It comes out, most of those hogs are killed in Texas. In Texas, they have a thing where they can actually take a wild hog to an FDA facility and they process, or USDA, whatever it's called. They can process it, then it's available for marketed sale. So I've cooked that bacon that I brought to the event in Senatobia there, that wild game cook-off. That was some of their wild boar bacon.
I think it's going to be a difference in that on a ranch or something that's feeding for nutrients versus
these are grain fed hogs.
This place we're going, I guarantee you they're feeding deer year round.
Yeah. So if
whatever animals are there, so those hogs are eating a ton of that stuff.
And protein. I mean, it's not going to be like a wild hog you see down here.
Yeah, if you wild hog, you ride around the Delta and shoot out in a farmer's field, it's going to be totally different.
I'm excied.
Yeah, Mikey ate a bunch of it.
What was it? Chorizo and
we had chorizo.
Tasso. Then they have a tasso.
They have a tasso ham, but we had those chops, those bone-in chops we ate. And one of the chefs down there at that event we were at last fall, he had cooked a whole one. Well, he quartered it up, cooked it in quarters. And man, I tell you, the shoulder that he cooked off that, it was some of the, you would have thought it was competition quality meat.
Oh, you're talking about Michael Hunter.
Yeah, Michael Hunter he's a Canadian chef, and he was down there at West Point cooking.
Yeah, that was fine.
It was some of it's good tasting pork. You would have thought it would have been, it was just old West Point hog.
But yeah, that hog he cooked down there was excellent. And I know he braised it and he smoked it and then braised it, and I don't know what all he done to it, but
it was good. It was tender.
A piece of it. It was fine.
So we got one of the guys that actually raised Magnalistas too that's giving us a shoulder to cook. We need to think on that because that might be.
I'm gonna try that hog.
Yeah,
tacos.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I'd like to do it with a little mojo marinade and
do it a little different,
cilantro and onions and almost like street tacos, but
pretty good
right off the pit. Be a good bite.
But we could cook it a lot like we do those birria tacos, where you just cook it down in that consomme. So you could smoke that shoulder first, or cut it up, smoke it in chunks, and then get it in a big pot with some of the consomme and put it on there and just cook it down to where it's just tender as it can be. Make some good tacos.
Dang, I did blue agave for lunch today.
I bet you they ain't got no wild boar tacos.
No, they don't.
I don't know if he mentioned anything if we're gonna cook a snake or not.
A snake.
I mean,
If you see, are you going to kill the rattlesnake if you see it?
I ain't gonna pet it. I ain't gonna name
You
it.
going to take a snake pistol?
I might have to put my 22 in my pocket.
Put some rat shot off in it.
Man, them guys that
You
used
better
to
get
work
you one of
for
those
us,
judges and shoot the 14.
Yeah.
14.
them guys that used to work for us, there was a bunch of them from Texas because our main hub was over in Texas, in Houston. And they all went on quail hunts and deer hunts and stuff around there during the fall. And man, them guys would come back with pictures. I've seen them out there. Every one of them had killed a rattlesnake while they were out there, wherever they were hunting at on whatever ranch. And man, they always told me that everything out in Texas either sticks you or bites you.
Yep.
That's true. I went hunting out there 2 years ago. We didn't see any snakes, and I asked the guy, and he said, no, it's just a certain time of year you really see them. They come out on the rocks and stuff. He said most of the time you don't mess with them. But where we were, I mean, they were ate up with hogs. We were deer hunting and hunting for some other exotics, and they didn't want you to, like, if you shot something, first they wanted to make sure you could shoot because they didn't want it to run off and then them have to go through all that backcountry tracking something and getting it out. So they made sure before we could ever go that we could actually shoot. But then when we were out there, they said, if you see hogs, we want you to kill them. And they don't want you to drop the hog where it is because they don't mess with them. They was like, gut shoot that thing and let it run off. It's going to be fine. There's plenty of stuff out there. It's going to eat off it. But they did not. And so after I'd tagged out, they was like, you still want to hunt some more and kill some hogs? I mean, it wasn't no charge or anything where we were. I was like, sure, I'll go sit in the stand. So they just put you up in a stand, give you an AR, all the bullets you can tote with you. Every hog you see, you shoot it. It was pretty fun. I ain't gonna lie. And I kind of think that's what we're going to be doing at this place.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, you're going to sit in the stand probably in the afternoon. They probably have been having those feeders go off about 3 or 4 o'clock. That's when the hogs come.
You gonna do the helicopter one where they strap you on the side?
I will. Would you do it?
Heck yeah!
I don't got the headset for it.
I don't think that's what's going on, but I got thinking. I was like, man, if we get a helicopter, we could be.
I want helicopter fully auto. I don't want no single shot.
No, you want the full.
I want full auto. Yeah,
You just hold it like this.
that's right. Yeah.
One of y'all gonna mess around and shoot a toe off or something hanging off the side of that helicopter? Shoot
They
a hose
kind
at the
of
floor.
tether you to it. Like you're not seatbelt. I don't know. You may be seatbelted in, but it looks like you're on a tether and the gun's on a tether. You can't just go wherever you want with the gun.
I was watching the thing the other day talking about, shooting them out of a helicopter, and that ain't.
I'm sure it ain't easy.
Well, it's not that. It's a lot of issues to where, I mean, you have to be very aware of your surroundings.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you mess around. That's what the one guy says. No matter what you do not point that barrel up. He said, you mess around, shoot the prop.
Crap, thanks.
I mean,
I think the ones I've seen, like you can't.
Yeah.
Like it won't let you point it.
Well, I'm saying if you're holding your AR, like that's what he was saying. He's like, whatever you do, you point it. He says, don't shoot your toes. That's what he said. Don't shoot your toes off because if you shoot your toes, you're shooting a helicopter. And don't shoot it up.
I'm going to have to go to range and watch those buddy beside me how good he can shoot before I get in the helicopter with him.
With them,
Yeah, if he misses the whole target, I ain't flying with this guy.
Because, I mean, you mess up and something go wrong in a helicopter chasing the hog
Y'all seen
gliding to the ground like an airplane. You going down?
like a rock.
Well, have y'all seen the videos where they do it, where they just like they're shooting the guns and they are shooting. I guess they're fully automatic.
Yeah, that's what I'd want. Yeah.
But you can just see the bullets going to them, and
I think I just want to ride on the roof of a Jeep or side by side. We'll stick to that.
that's what I'm talking about. Where we went, they had these. It's like a safari seat.
Yeah.
So you're up on top of either a side by side or back of a Toyota pickup truck, and it's got a shooting rail up there, and you set up on it. 360 shoot.
Got a Toyota out there now.
Put a shooting rail. I don't think they frown upon that in Mississippi. Who's riding up and down these back roads?
Can you imagine our neighbors seeing us sitting 15 foot up over the top of the cab of the truck?
Probably illegal. It's probably illegal in
It
Mississippi.
is.
Make it
You
look
can't
like
hunt from the vehicle. Texas must be different rules.
You can hunt from the vehicle. I think the keys got to be out of it, and then the ignition's got to be off, keys out of it. I think used to you could be able to hunt. You could sit in the truck.
So
You just had to be off the road.
going back to those rattlesnakes, they got so many snakes out there. You don't think snakes bite hogs?
I mean,
Kill
yeah,
some of
but
them?
so I've read several things.
Here, comments are finna start rolling in.
2 things that supposedly a hog is kind of like not the venom of the bite does not affect the hog. Supposedly.
Oh, so they're immune to it.
I'm assuming. I mean, I guess you get bit enough, eventually it's going to get it. But it's kind of like, I mean, you think about a lab. How many times we've had labs get bit by water moccasins, they swell up and they're fine in 2 or 3 days. Where if that water moccasin had bit one of us, we're pretty much done. So
you think it don't hurt the hog if a snake bites it?
I don't think a hog
hogs eat
cares.
snakes?
It may not be able to penetrate that thick fat. I don't know. There's a lot of fat on the hog. So
I mean, I don't know. Like,
that skin's pretty
I hadn't
thick.
been around enough. Now, Jody and them swear, like I've heard multiple people, and I've seen this too, where people talk about it, say that where the population of hogs are very, very high and they have rattlesnakes, the rattlesnakes got to where they'll quit rattling because the hogs, they locate that rattle to go eat them, eat the snakes.
Really?
Supposedly. I don't know.
See, I'm trying to figure out where they got that theory. I know it's probably some truth to it, but I mean, how do they know not to rattle? I mean, I thought that was just kind of a
Freaking TikTok.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just a reaction
So they're evolving certain areas in heavy hog populations to not rattle, basically.
because the hogs
Give
are fine.
themselves away.
And I understand both sides of it. One side of it's like rattlesnakes been rattling for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
A couple of years of hogs ain't gonna make them quit rattling. And on the same sense, every animal that's still living on this earth has adapted to survive. So who's to say that snake ain't adapting?
So you think it's going to quit growing rattles?
I hope not.
I mean, that's also, well, never mind. This will really get them fired up. That's also where these folks are talking about where deer quit growing big antlers because they know they'll get shot.
Yeah, come on. I buying this.
They quit growing at 130 because they know if they get to 140, they're getting shot.
I don't.
They ain't getting no bigger
They're
because
not
they done
evolved.
killed the
Yeah,
hell
they
out
done
of
killed
them.
all of
Exactly right. They don't let them young ones live.
All I know is I hope every snake in Texas got a heck of a rattler on it, so I know before I walk up on him.
I want to know before I get up on him.
I want him to have some jingle bells.
Because if you've ever seen a big rattlesnake, man, some of them things are 6 foot long.
Oh, heck
man,
yeah.
a snake can jump.
The little ones
Strike
are worse than the
way
big
out.
ones, though. They're the ones that'll just
Yeah.
unload on you. The big ones might hold his poison back. Little one's just going to give it all to you. He don't know not to.
Malcolm's going to come out in a bee suit to get ticks off. And
I got me some snake
Snake
away.
boots.
I got
He
me
ain't
some
going to get
snake
out of the
spray.
truck.
Oh, I've been out there. I ain't scared.
I do got to get me some snake boots. I got to get some kind of boots because all I have is my muck boots, and they ain't going to favor real well in
So
100
what
degree
kind of
weather.
boots are you going to buy? Like, if y'all had to go buy a pair of snake boots, you just going to get some old redheads, or you going to actually buy?
Man, rabbit hunting, that's all I wear. Not really because I'm worried about snakes, just because they're comfortable. But redheads, what I usually buy because they're waterproof, but usually by the end of rabbit season, they're leaking. I just carry them back to basket.
See, I want something that's breathable, like not insulated.
So
Mine are not-
those
mine
ones
are not
that Jamie's
insulated.
Got, you got the redhead brand, right?
Yeah, they're uninsulated.
Zip
but,
ups.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that was like the ones I had, and they're not too bad because I turkey hunted in them
Yeah.
until they, started
They're
leaking
super
or whatever.
comfortable, but
Oh yeah, and I wore a pair of Rocky ones, and they're pretty stiff.
yeah, I had some Rockies before.
So I'm looking at some Danners. They had a couple pair that are like leather that look like they might be comfortable. I don't want laces. I mean, I love the way a lace boot wears, but I don't want to have to lace 18 inches of string every morning.
Yeah.
The only snake boots I had that I did not like, and I think they might have been.
I don't like the rubber boot, like the lacrosse
Oh,
rubber
no.
boot, snake boots. They're heavy.
They look like Ariat work boots, but they was knee high. They might have been Ariat snake boots, and that was the most. I wore them things 2 years rabbit hunting. Then that was the most uncomfortable pair of snake boots I ever had.
I would want like a flat sole on my boot.
That's what
kinda
I
like
was
tennis
thinking, a
shoe or
walking
something
sole.
that.
Yeah. See, I'm either going to go with like that style snake boot, or I'm going to say screw a snake boot, and I'm going to look at those.
Chaps or gaiters or whatever.
Yeah, but get some of those Under Armour ultralight like hunting boots.
Mhm.
They're Gore-Tex, and they're almost like a high top tennis shoe. Because I mean, I don't know how much we're going to be on our feet down there, but I want to be comfortable.
But Darren usually wears I think he got the lacrosse rubber snake boots. He said they're pretty dang comfortable.
They're not heavy though.
I don't know. I've never.
So my thing in a rubber boot this time of year, man, my feet start sweating
Yeah.
so bad. I need something leather, something that can breathe.
Yeah, I need something breathable. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm going to order something this week. Either that or go. That's another thing is like, man, we ain't got nowhere around here to go try on boots. Like you go to Sports and Warehouse, they may have one or two pair, and most likely they ain't got your size. Like we don't have nowhere we can go and like physically put hands on these boots. It's going to be a guess. Like get on Amazon or Max Berry Wings or something like that, and hopefully you get the right size.
You do like my wife does, just send stuff back.
I can't.
Did y'all's wife do that?
Yes.
Constantly buying stuff and sending it back?
Oh, my daughter will. She'll order 5 or 6 different things and get it, see what color looks best and then send other 3 back.
I never do that. It's very rare I send something back. If it don't fit, I'm just going to give it to
I'll give somebody.
I'll send it back now.
Might try Bass Pro. I don't know. I mean, I hadn't been up to the Bass Pro in a while. We still got 2 of them here in Memphis.
Yeah, I like the one out. I guess
the original one out there,
the original off Macon Road or whatever.
The other one's a museum.
It's because it's not as touristy, I guess you'd say. They usually have a pretty good bit of stuff in stock.
That's why I had to run down to Hunter's Hollow one day too.
Yeah, Hunter's Hollow got a good selection.
Sports Warehouse.
I was in there last weekend. Bought me a couple mouth calls.
Did you? Couple more.
In Hunter's Hollow?
Yeah. We went to that concert down there and we had some time to kill. So I said, let's go in Hunter's Hollow. They were fully stocked.
We got 2 more weeks before we leave.
Is that
3 weeks?
It's in May.
Yeah. We'll leave May 19th.
So is
pretty much from now to about the end of July. I don't think I got a single weekend free. I don't think.
I don't either. I was looking at the calendar. It's going to be busy.
May is full.
May's ignorant. I'm not looking forward to it.
So that goes back to when we got to get these food plots in the ground. We're going to run out of time before we never get everything going.
Yep. It's going to be tight.
It's time to go get the turkey blinds up, move our cameras, try to put them somewhere where we can see some horns.
All the tractors and equipment are pretty much sitting on go. So I got Mikey a whoop-em grease gun. That's what we need to film. So we had some grease fittings on the bush hog that won't take grease, and it's a known problem. It's just they stay in the dirt. I mean, they stop up. Well, they won't take grease. Well, when I worked at Cat, we had a hydraulic grease gun that you could put a couple thousand PSI through and blow those grease fittings out and clean it. Well, we don't need quite that here, but they make one that you put penetrating oil in, snaps on your grease fitting, you smack it with a hammer, and it's like a piston that forces in there. So that'll be we might have to get that on camera to see how that pans out. You get to whooping on some penetrating oil. Somebody probably getting oil bath for days over with.
I hope that thing got a good gasket in the back end. Go smack it with that hammer. It's probably coming right back in my face.
Where's some clothes that you don't mind ruining?
But other than that, we have most everything. We got to figure out the planter. That's one thing.
Need that for corn, for sure.
What?
So what are the hogs in Texas? Are they just feral hogs or the javelinas both? Or?
I don't know if there's.
I think the ferals.
There are some javelinas, but javelina's really not even a hog.
That's what I was going to say. The javelina's really not even a hog. Have you ever seen anybody eat them things?
Just on TV.
I think we ate one last week.
Meat Eater ate one. They got some kind of a gland or something in their musk gland or something, about like a beaver or something in their back.
Yeah, we definitely ate one of them last week.
I think that's what that turkey nugget was just a musk gland.
I think it's just the gland.
Yeah, just the gland.
But they're just feral hogs. They just have a problem. I don't know. They probably have more hogs in Texas than they do anywhere.
I bet they do.
That's a lot. That's another thing I didn't realize.
Size of Texas?
How big freaking Texas is.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
I mean, we always think Dallas is like the center. No.
It's the edge.
We ain't even close.
That, and you can drive from one side of Mississippi to the other side in 2 hours.
Yeah. A buddy of mine's down in Texas. I was like, yeah, we're coming to Waxahachie, somewhere in that area. He's like, oh, that's still 6 hours from me. And I was like, dadgum, I thought you lived in Texas. He's like, I do.
It takes 13 hours to get across the state.
But that's about.
You got the Hope Outdoors banquet coming up Saturday night.
Yeah, it's Saturday, yes.
Tell them about it.
So expecting probably around 200, 250 people there. Do a couple of gun raffles. Several different people donate the stuff to be auctioned off for silent auction. It's gonna be. I think Seafood Junction and Bahia, they're catering that night.
Is it catfish?
It'll be fried. I don't know what all it is. It's gonna be fried.
I got a hush puppy recipe I put out there. It's that top secret hush puppy recipe.
All right, I'll say
this is Martha White.
That was some good hush puppies that day.
Doctored up. They are good. I kind of figured the catfish recipe would have come out before the hush puppies, but hey, it's coming. Because y'all did a catfish recipe, right?
Yeah. Done.
Heck, I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess so.
I did that bang bang, or it's a boom boom turkey, what I call it. Y'all check that out.
That was a good eat. It was good.
It's got them fired up.
Mikey did Big Mac sliders, and those were dang good.
Yeah,
It tastes just like a Big Mac from McDonald's.
Even though you had ketchup in it, and they don't have that in their sauce.
Yeah,
supposedly.
they didn't. But I mean,
Well, there's no ketchup in McDonald's secret sauce.
That's what
it's
one of the
paprika.
comments was.
I don't know if
It's mainly just paprika and mustard, mayonnaise, and sweet relish, but a little bit of onion and garlic powder. But yeah, I didn't get the flavor I wanted just from the paprika that we had, and I was like, man, I need
Oh, there's
put
a little ketchup
in there.
Oh, wasn't nothing wrong with it.
Oh,
It was dang good. It was.
good bite.
I done figured out if you want to find out who in the world can't cook, just put a cooking video out there, and the ones that act like they know what they're doing and get pissed off about your cooking video, most likely they can't
They
boil
can't
water.
cook.
Yeah. Most keyboard cooks are hell, man.
They are, man. They'll jump on you.
That's what one guy was like, I can't believe why you got to put all that on that turkey. Because I freaking want to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was killing me when somebody was saying about you covering up the taste of that wild turkey. I tasted it plain. You know what it tastes like? No flavor.
Turkey?
Yeah, turkey.
Like, it tastes like
it didn't
turkey.
taste wild. It didn't taste gamey. It just tastes like meat, just kind of like chicken. That's what it tasted like.
I mean,
It was neutral. It was neutral. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's tender. It's delicious.
yeah, but after
But it don't have a lot. It don't have like a unique, that's wild turkey right there.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. When you do it,
tastes like a
nuggets,
chicken thigh.
yeah.
I mean, just like anything else, from a steak to hamburger, whatever. Once you eat it one way,
I want to try something
you
different.
want to try something different, add something to it. Well, just change it up.
Oh, the world's best is like, all that needs is salt, pepper, and garlic. Well, good deal, because that's what's in freaking AP. Like, it's not like we're putting acid on it.
Yeah.
It's literally what this rub is.
Salt, pepper, garlic.
Yeah.
well, we kill enough game, and we got to be creative. Otherwise, we'll be
Yeah.
eating the same
Same
way
old
every
thing
week,
all the
so.
time.
Oh yeah,
Oh, next one I'll do, I'm probably going to try the Asian style.
yeah.
I still got 3 more turkey breasts.
That's a bunch of meat in a turkey breast too. You don't
It
really,
is.
you don't really
That
don't
was
realize
one
it.
breast in that video, and it was a platter full.
And I carried leftovers home.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
No, it's
it was good stuff.
eating. I tell you what, I'm kind of getting fired up about. I seen David Magnus is catting around guide service has posted some pictures. Then somebody else posted a picture on Facebook this morning. Man, they had a boat full of river cats. I'm talking. I don't know where this guy was at. I don't know if he caught them commercial fishing or what, but the whole bottom of that John boat was all 20-pound plus catfish in it.
Man, he must be getting off the line.
Something like that. I bet nets. I bet
Yeah.
it's commercial fishing somewhere.
Yeah, if you seen them, I've seen guys running you seen them running old metal 5-gallon drums?
Yep.
Man, I'd be scared to death reach down there and grab that old nasty rusty thing full of fish and cut me wide open.
We've done years ago. We've done the wooden boxes, and it used to be people do tires and stuff like that. As long as it don't have air in it, supposedly there's nothing going to be in it but a fish. Not going to be a snake or nothing like that in it because it don't have air. But no, you catch it.
I'm not running my hand off in a hole.
Would y'all pull them up, or would you swim down and?
Well, it's illegal to pull them up in Mississippi.
Okay,
'Cause, I mean, we found out because we got tickets for doing it. So,
really?
yeah,
What was that fine?
I forget, man. It's been 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But we had the boxes, and just the top of the box is floating. So we just pulled up here to the boat and grabbed the string, and you yank it up fast enough, the water drains out, and you dump the fish in a boat. But evidently,
That's not how you're supposed to do it.
that's not how you do it legally.
How are you supposed to get them out?
Well, when we went back, we jumped out of the boat and swam up here to it, and you run your hand just like grappling, run your hand.
You
up
did
there and
that?
catch it. Yeah, I couldn't. It was hard to hold. I mean, I wasn't, but I only think I have a driver's license in, or
Oh, you was young.
maybe 16, 17.
If I had to bet, Jamie didn't do it because he wanted to. He done it because Jimmy was
No.
telling him to, and he didn't have no choice.
I wanted to do it. I've always wanted to go grappling, but it's the unknown. It's hard to leave your hand and foot in there and something beating around on it.
It's,
I
it's
ain't,
different.
I ain't that mad at one catfish that bad.
It's
fight
it's
him for the
different
ride.
because depending on which fish you got, because like when we do it at Randy's got a few boxes that we check, and it's mainly blue cats. Now a 15-pound blue cat will chew
Shoot,
you
I
to
guarantee
pieces,
it.
son, because if you don't get your hand in there, he's so aggressive. It's like a pit bull is what it feels like, hitting you and biting you, and they don't really grab you. The ones that I've done, they don't really grab you like they do, swallow your whole arm, and they ain't quite big enough. They'll just grab you by the fingers and start rolling and just rip the hide off.
Shred.
your
Oh,
finger.
it's like, yeah,
Then you reach back in there and he'll grab you by the forearm or something and tear off the
Pinching you.
hide off of you, and it's constant until you can get him to swallow, or you can get your hand in his mouth, or get it, some way around.
We get that on video, Mikey.
No, because I'm under the water.
Oh, they make it grow. It's probably too muddy. isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, it's too muddy.
I know years
I
ago.
just want to get your reaction to fight. I don't care what the fish is doing underwater.
I didn't even know I was tore up that bad that one time. I got down in there and Randy, he was laughing. He thought it was funny. He's like, yeah, go over and get in that. And he knew that smaller fish was in that one. And he knew it was going to chew me up. And that's the first time I'd ever done it. And I went over there and, man, that thing ate me alive. It got all my fingers, ripped all the hide off the top of my hand. I was still, I was trying to, it scared me at first. I ain't gonna lie. I stuck my hand up in there and all of a sudden this thing just smacks you real fast. Oh,
It's just natural instinct.
Yeah, would you do
way.
it? I wouldn't do it.
I still want to do it in like a shallow water where you can wade out there too.
Oh,
I would want to get a bigger fish, though, that would grab me, and I can get a hold of him. And
I think once you got over that initial fear of like,
oh, yeah, you
once
put your hand back, there ain't no doubt because he hits you so fast. You kind of snatch back a little bit.
I believe that first one would be terrifying.
You probably scream like a girl or something.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, have you seen some of the little girls doing it on
Oh, yeah.
social media?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're doing it for the catfishing,
You
though.
don't think so?
They fishing, but
They
it ain't for no catfish.
They trapping. Huh?
Yeah, they trapping.
Setting them traps.
I know years ago when we was deer hunting at Water Valley, it was a house boys, what we called them. They's all your size. They's all big guys. And I'm talking about their arms that big around. I can remember them coming down. They'd have scars all up to shoulder from, that's how big a catfish they would grab and catching out. And I was like, man, I just don't.
I'll stick to a rod and reel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to try it because just to say I did, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
You can set a line or some old cane poles like y'all like to sit in the mud, or maybe some yo-yos.
I don't know. Yo-yo's scared the crap out of me too. That's like a mousetrap with a hook.
We'll be clear of it when it goes off.
You get them old rusted. Daddy never had no new ones. He always had these old rusted up.
You didn't know if they was finna reach
Yeah.
out.
You get it set, you trying to do everything, and they'd reel that hook back up.
And we caught a bunch of them at Tunica Cutoff years ago on yo-yos, me and Daddy.
That's a pretty ingenious idea, really.
Another way I like jug fishing. Y'all ever do that? That's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It depends on if you do it in a river or if you just do it in a pond.
I know if you're doing it in the river, you're working. It's nonstop. You're going from point A to point B.
We always
back and
found this
forth.
pretty good pond and took a cooler loaded down, and
You only
it
know
was a
you only
fun
know
night.
you only know if you caught anything or not.
We'd usually catch a few, but it wasn't really about the fish.
we used to run, boy that I worked for, he ran noodles in the lakes.
Yeah.
And we would
Stand
make
up,
those
you go-
up. Well, we had to make them at different depths of the water, and he knew where the depth of the water, because you wanted the weight to barely set on the bottom, and then we'd have, I forget how many hooks you could put on it, 4.
Oh, yeah, I
And it
think
was
it's
like
3 or 4.
Yeah, there's a few hooks up through there, but I figured that noodle would take off, and it don't move. Like, it'll be sitting out there. If it's standing up, there's a fish on it.
If it's laid down.
If it's laid down, either you ain't got it, either there's fish on it and it ain't, it may bob up like that. But most of them, if they were sticking up like this, we walk up here and grab it. It's like, be a 20, 30 pound fish on there.
I used to love doing that. I don't think the fish are in Coldwater River like they used to be. Because used to, you go down there and every weekend, me and Darren in high school, we'd catch a crap load of fish. But I used to love doing limb lines, doing the pole and the bank. That was my 2 favorite things. Because you could, a trot line, you don't know what you got on it because it's tied off. When you get up there and you see that limb, that pole, shoot, you get
something's on there.
you get excited.
Tree shaker.
Yep.
I tried running a trot line in the river. It just don't work out. Because you run it down there. If it's any current in that river,
you gonna
angle it all up.
Grass, everything gets mangled up, tangled up on it. It
So-
winds up messing your trot line up. But yeah, running those limb hooks and those poles are a lot of fun.
Yeah,
They're
that's-
really easy
yeah.
to me. I mean, you can put them things anywhere. Just jug them in
Stick
the
them on the
bank,
bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
bait it up, and then just drop it.
As long as you don't come back next day, and it's pretty encouraging when old Beaver got up there and chewed your pole off.
And
You
do
use
some
them
old
all
school-
poles. They ain't chewing them.
Need some old
They ain't
school
supposed to
river
chew
fish.
up gain, aren't
No, we all, Daddy always cut like tree limbs or whatever.
Oh,
I mean, we'd
okay.
use cane poles sometimes. A lot of times, him and Jimmy, they just go cut.
whatever you could find that was the
Yeah.
right length.
Yep.
The last time I went in the river was with your daddy. It was me, Will, and Gage, and your daddy. We ran poles one Friday evening and came back Friday night, checked, and we did all right. I mean, we caught 5 or 6 decent fish, but the boys had never done it, and Pate wanted to take them to do that, and we did it, and it was a lot of fun.
But like river fishing, to me, just like went with David, it's certain holes, certain locations, certain spots, and little crooks in the river. That's where once you fish it enough, that's where you need to go versus just going out there and throwing a line out. Ain't always going to work.
We got to get us a fishing trip this year.
Yeah, we need to hit up Mr. David.
That's some fun stuff if you've never done it.
It is.
Especially
Which heck, we had, who was it we were talking to this weekend? Somebody went with him? Or no, some guys come in the store. They come up here, was fishing with David. They come in the store last week. They were from Utah, I think. Come all the way down here to go fishing, and we talked to them. He said they caught a bunch of little ones, but didn't catch no big ones. But they enjoyed the whole just going up and down the river, seeing it.
I agree.
What David tell you about the
Yeah. People don't realize that Mississippi River ain't no joke. Like it's a heck of a river, and when you get down there eye level with it, it really is.
We were in it the day we all went fishing. It was pretty smooth that day.
Yeah.
I've been in that river before. Lord, I swore I'll never go back in it. It looks like the ocean out there. Just the riff and
the current. And you get
current and the stuff.
a busy barge day, and it's moving.
Man, it'll chuck the boat motor out.
We're going to be able to compare it to Lake Michigan because we got a trout fishing trip going up.
Salmon.
Is it salmon?
Salmon.
Okay.
Oh,
And that's something else you don't.
Lake trout and king salmon, I think.
Yeah.
What it is.
I don't know which lake it was I seen when I flew into Chicago.
Like Michigan. You circle over it.
We flew over and I'm looking down. I'm like, man.
A lot of water in
Oh
it.
yeah, it ain't like a lake I consider Lake Mississippi. It was more like ocean.
All I know is I'm taking me some fresh limes, some cilantro, probably some shallot, and we're going to eat some fresh
fish.
salmon.
You'll take some soy sauce.
Yeah, I'd
Wasabi?
soy sauce, yeah.
The first thing come to my mind was some Dramamine.
You're gonna make some
Mark worried about eating.
Heck no.
Me and Mikey gonna throw some Dramamine on.
yeah.
Jeez, I'm gonna take me
I'm
cooler
gonna have
for them
one eye
gold
closed
tops.
over. I have some of the Dramamine in me.
Cooler for them gold tops, most secret bait. They don't know about the bait we use down here.
You going to bring the little staker to
We're
Michigan?
gonna bring the little sticker.
Oh, we probably bring one of them tubes and a pouch.
Cheese
yeah.
bait.
Yeah, that stuff's so horrible.
Oh, please come out there and just launch it off the side of the boat.
Like juice come out of it when it's
Have
done.
y'all ever been on a trout boat or a guide boat? They won't even let you bring in.
Oh yeah.
You better not bring the garlic scented trout baits. The little power baits that got the garlic.
tell you
in it. They wouldn't
whatever
let you boat with it.
I mean, we was by my side by side the other day.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck is that smell? And I
It
left
was.
that jar, that power bait. I don't know what's in that little jar. That stuff stinks so bad.
It's
I don't
real.
like getting that stuff in my hands or nothing. That stuff's
No, a
horrible.
lot of that bait that you use like that, you're supposed to leave it in the sun. I didn't realize that about those little tubs of the, like catfish bait.
Yeah.
You're supposed to leave it in the sun or heat it up before.
Let it warm up, activate.
Oh, it's active.
Because
It's active.
it's kind of a tan color, but
Yeah.
when you put it out there in the sun and let it start baking, it'll turn a dark brown. It'll get funky, son. And then you can start catching them catfish. And I didn't know that. I just accidentally done it.
Who was it had the cheese bait? There was a 55-gallon cheese drum.
John Mason had
Is that,
one.
is that who it was?
Fritz Daddy Ted used to always have it. That stuff,
heck.
he'd keep it in bed of his truck. I'm talking about it was.
What's his name over at North Central?
Buzzards wouldn't even come near it. Was
Oh,
that bad?
Oh, he had that
Byron?
cheese barrel.
Byron.
Man, it
Yeah,
was,
from Byron.
you could buy them off the island, I think.
President's Island.
Somewhere like that, a cheese. He said he bought it at a cheese factory. Man, we'd have to go out there and rake the maggots off the top of it.
Oh, man.
It was
And then
dead
scoop you
flies
out
and maggots.
some?
And then if you could stand there long enough, we'd put it in pantyhose.
Yeah.
So you took a spoon and you shook it down in them pantyhose. You had to have gloves on because it was so funky. Tied up, and then you stuck it in a bucket and put the lid on it. Because you didn't want to be out there trying to put it in we was running nets
Yeah.
with it.
You didn't want to be handling it loaded. You wanted it ready to go.
You wanted it ready to go.
And then you wanted to eat them fish that would eat that stuff.
I ain't eating their stomach. I'm eating fillets.
Okay. I got you.
We rolled the net off in that cold water river, tied that pantyhose up in there and rolled it off in the river, went bow hunting and came back 2 hours later and it was full of fish.
It was all it took.
That's all it took.
That's that secret bait.
We had enough fish.
Just call him, see if he still got any of that left. It'd probably be 10 years old. Wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think he's making money now. He don't want to. He don't
He don't need
that
to
hard
fish.
up.
Walmart in San Toby. I stopped in there this morning. They got a crap load of different kind of stink baits. I didn't realize they carried that much stuff.
They got a pretty good fishing section
Yeah.
from Walmart.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
You don't see too many bait shops like you used to.
Not around here. And it's a shame, too, because we used to have them all over the place.
I mean, it used to be 2 or 3 right there in town, and now it's like,
Man,
that's
it ain't
cricket.
nothing like going in there and smelling minnows and asking for bologna sandwich all in the same place.
oh, that's a good sandwich.
Yeah, that'd make the best thing.
Hoop cheese, bologna, and
There's
minnows.
one over at Sardis that's still a pretty good
Yeah.
bait store.
You see them over, when we go to Arkansas, you see a few over there, but nothing like it used to be over here.
Like around us, though, I know me and Mikey and Malcolm and Mark might not remember it, but growing up, you could get on your bike and go fish 8 or 10 ponds from your house. And now it's a dang subdivision. So there's not all they's little places there's not bait shops and stuff all over town like it was.
Man, we used to do some fishing. When I was a kid, we used to wear them out.
It's time to crank it back up now.
It was not, like I say, it's not any It's very, very, very few places you can go that do pond fishing.
That's what I told Melissa. When we moved on this side of town, we used to have those lakes behind the house. So we could go fishing every evening, take Caleb fishing. And when I moved over here and we had Will, I ain't got nowhere to take him.
No. But me and Darren always had little 2 ponds out there at his parents' house, and we could fish them every single weekend. And I guess all them days and stuff like that's gone.
They still got what's the fishing place out there off Pine Tree Loop? What was it called?
Mr. Seth's.
Had 5 or 6 ponds you could pay to fish.
Pay to go fish.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Journey's End, was it?
Yeah.
No.
It might have been.
Something
like
Journey,
that.
something. But Mr. Seth is who owned it. You could get top worms out there. You could,
Just left your money in a little box.
yeah.
I didn't know you were supposed to pay for them catawba worms.
You just
I
got
just
this-
want
I
my
came
snack
in the
on-
road. They're on the side of the road. I jumped out, shook the tree, picked them all up, threw them in the truck. And
I
went
need to ride
fishing.
through there and see if that's even. I don't know if
I hadn't heard nothing about that in a
I think
long
probably
time.
I don't know if I-69 when they cut it through, if it got part of it or not. I know that. What road is it cuts through there now?
301.
2-lane or something.
Yeah, 2-lane cuts all the way through now, so I don't know if that got it and ties back into Pine Tree Loop or not. I hadn't been
Been a
out
long
there.
time. So
Yeah, I haven't been out there in years.
we fished there. We fished Lakeview up there, Walls.
I've never fished that. My dad used
There
to
was-
fish it, so
there
we
used to
never
be a
fished
bunch
it.
of crappie in that lake. I don't know if it's still good or not.
But heck, the problem around here is, and I don't know if it's got something to do with, like I say, so many developments now, but I don't remember as a kid, Arca Butler, Sardis, Enid getting as low as what it does now. They draining it down for spring rain. I don't never remember that when I was a kid, but
I used to remember seeing videos of Bill Dance wade fishing out there in Arkansas back when I was a kid. So they'd draw. I mean, that was when the water was up, I guess.
Yeah.
Has Randy fished Arca Butler this year? Like out there in the channel or anything?
In the water.
No. Yeah, there ain't many places to fish. I did see some guys fishing. Well, I seen a video on TikTok. This guy.
Butler boys.
I
Is
feel
that who it
sorry
is?
for those
I think
guys
it is.
because I know
did
they
see
were
that.
they were making
I did see them.
Yeah, they were making a video and they were catching crappie. And I recognized where they were at, and I seen, something that stood out to me. I'm like, man, oh, you done messed up. You better get rid of that video.
Where were they at Moortown?
Huh?
Where was it?
They
Oh,
was
you
like-
ain't gonna say.
well, I mean, it ain't no need hiding it. They put it out on TikTok, but it's up there. They were north of the interstate, I think.
Oh, okay. Butthole.
You can see cars going down the road.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of people waiting out there.
Shoot, I'm ready to break
That's
out.
Bear Tail Bottom up there, isn't it? There's some people waiting up. I went over there the other day. There's people out there in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They break out the kayak. We need to.
Get
We've
out.
been saying it for years. We need to throw the kayaks in Mississippi. Not Mississippi.
No, I ain't getting
Go
in on
ahead,
this.
bro.
Coldwater River up
They do.
ahead and come down.
I think we could do pretty good if we throw them in the cold water. You got to get out of that channel.
Yeah,
that
where they
man-made channel. Get
dredge.
it down there where they, it turns back into the natural channel of the river. And I think we'll do pretty good because I've been down there on that end with 2 different people. And the water turns pretty clear right
Yeah.
down in there.
I put in at Holly Springs before and waded down. Me and Darren were kids in high school bass fishing and wading, and you catch a crap load of bass doing that. Let's put in and do it.
Gotta give me a kayak.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week, fellas. It's a sad day. Turkey season's over. But on to growing stuff for these deer.
That's right.
It's gonna be
Hopefully
fun.
we see some good turkey nesting.
I already
Hopefully.
know where a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't laid eyes on the nest, but I've seen the hens. She won't leave the areas.
Fingers crossed. But man, we appreciate y'all listening. Another week in the books. Like I say, if y'all got any questions, always shoot us a message and check us out on all the platforms. And we got good many recipes still should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, and we're gonna keep the content flowing. And that's all I got.
Be back next week to talk more bug junkies. We're gone.